Hey y'all! This week started kind of rough but finished fairly strong, so let's get to it. On Tuesday, we lost 1-4 to the Arizona Coyotes in a game that was so bad that the Kiss Cam literally caught a guy sleeping. The only Jacket score was scored 31 seconds in by Pierre-Luc Dubois. Whether this game's result is a lack of confidence, or the Jackets still trying to find themselves, or an inability to stay positive when things get rough, the boys were able to use their frustration with this game in order to push them on to a victory on Thursday when they beat the Blues 7-4. I think a very significant point in this game was a mentality change. John Tortorella started with a line of Nick Foligno, Boone Jenner, and Josh Anderson, which he said on 97.1 The Fan was in order to establish a grinding mentality in his players. The Jackets are, at their core, scrappy. We don't have a ton of high-skill players, but the Jackets play best when they're gritty and checking hard, just working at it, something that hasn't been seen much in this early season. But it's something that I think that the Foligno-Jenner-Anderson line helped stimulate. Regardless of what caused it, a lot of Jackets had multi-point nights, with Brad getting 3 assists, Murray, Rowensky, and Harrington having 2 each, and Josh Anderson locking down a goal and an assist. But the 2 stars of the game were definitely Boone Jenner and Anthony Duclair, both of whom had 2 goals. This game was also Jonas Korpisolid's first start in 2 weeks, but not his last, as he also started on Saturday when the Jackets had a 5-4 overtime win over the Buffalo Sabres. This game was a little messier, with the Jackets going down early, battling through the second, only to fall back in the third. It has some pretty interesting points, though. The first line of Panarin, Dubois, and Atkinson scored all 5 CBJ goals. Brett and Cam had 2 goals and an assist apiece, while Luke had a goal and 2 assists. Korpisolid was maybe not as dominant as he had been in St. Louis, but he still more than earned his keep. His .897 save percentage isn't exactly inspiring, but it's still better than Bob's right now, and you can't argue with a 4-0 record, even if he has also been letting in 4 goals a game. Regardless, John Tortorella was less than happy with his game, even if he did like the result, saying the Jackets were sloppy and that they sucked, which is incredibly fair. But it's not like this is a new issue. It's one the Jackets had last season and have had all this season. So I guess it's good that Torts is aware of the boys falling away in the third, because that means that the team is aware of it. But I can't be too shocked or worried about it. Some other stuff. So I didn't mention this in the Blues game recap, but another change in that game was that Scott Harrington, well-established Blue Jackets odd man out, took Dean Kukin's spot beside David Savard, and he definitely looked like a man playing for a job. He had his first ever multi-point game, and he looked pretty good. I think that, for the first time ever maybe, I finally saw a glimpse of the Scott Harrington that the Blue Jackets brass have always said was in there. Speaking of getting a glimpse of something good, Brandon Dubinsky was interviewed at the intermission on Saturday, and he said that he's healing from his oblique tear, which happened during practice early on in October. He's only 2 weeks into his expected 4 to 6 week recovery period, but he said that he would be disappointed if he's not ready to come back by the time the Jackets start their California road trip on Thursday. All in all, things are not quite falling into place, but starting to fit together. We have at least 2 lines that work, our penalty kill looks good, our power play doesn't completely suck, but we're still very much a team trying to figure out what the 18-19 dynamic needs to be. But it's October. We have plenty of time to worry about that. So I'll leave it for next time. Click that like if you liked this video, hit subscribe if you loved it. I'm Lydia, this is Cannon Fire, and happy Halloween!